Hi, I'm Paula Vincent Johnson, a Louisiana civil law notary who specializes in helping families secure their legacies with powers of attorney, wills, small successions, and real estate transfers. Subscribe to this channel to learn how you can use those documents to effectively remove barriers of communication with financial institutions, medical professionals, government agencies, and others. Listen, this video is going to be a little bit longer than most because the affidavit of small succession procedure is very technical. But if you watch the entire video, you will learn a lot about the process and why it is necessary. You do not want to find yourself in trouble because you didn't handle the process properly. Remember, you are signing a sworn statement under penalty of perjury. As an experienced civil law notary, I can help you accurately and lawfully complete the entire process once and for all. So let's talk about the affidavit of small succession. I know a lot of you hear that term most often when you're trying to close a bank account or file a life insurance claim after a loved one has died. But the bank or insurance company says, hold on, we need you to fill out some paperwork. They usually give or send to you a form titled Affidavit of Small Succession. Why do they need that? When you approach a bank to close an account, or when you are attempting to collect the proceeds from a life insurance policy on which there was no clear beneficiary, or if you are trying to transfer property that the decedent owned, you will have to provide proof of heirship to show that you are the rightful new owner of that money or property. Generally, an heir is someone related to the decedent by blood or legal adoption. A spouse is not automatically an heir. The Affidavit of Small Succession is a simplified succession procedure that Louisiana allows when the decedent, the person who died, leaves no will and the value of everything they owned on the date of death is $125,000 or less. There are some other requirements, but if you can't get past these two, then there's no need to go into the others. Now, there are two exceptions regarding the value of the estate and the decedent's residence. You can use this procedure no matter what the value of the decedent's estate if they died more than 20 years ago. And you can use this procedure even if the decedent lived in another state, but they have property here in Louisiana that is valued at $125,000 or less. However, keep in mind that I will be talking about Louisiana residents. If your loved one lived in another state, then please schedule a telephone consultation with me so that we can discuss your situation in more detail. So, two questions to consider. Did the decedent have a will, and what is the value of everything they owned on the day they died? If the decedent had a will, then you can stop right there. The family must hire an attorney to open a judicial succession, which means the will is presented to the court and a judge determines whether or not that will is valid. If it is valid, then the judge signs a judgment of possession, which is a court order acknowledging those individuals who inherited the decedent's estate according to that will. If the decedent did not have a will, you can move on to the next question, which is, what is the value of the decedent's estate? I often get this response. They didn't have an estate. They only had that one bank account. Well, that is their estate. An estate includes everything a person owned on the day he or she died. That's property, cars, money, jewelry, clothing, household items. It can also include intellectual property, for example, a person's rights in books, art, or music. All of those assets have to be given a specific monetary value and included in the affidavit. You don't list only that one account at that one bank on that one insurance policy. You must add up everything the decedent owned to determine the total value of his or her estates. Debts are not taken into account or listed in the affidavit, but be aware that heirs may still be responsible for certain debts. If the decedent's estate is less than $125,000, this procedure can be used to get the financial institution or the insurance company to release the money. Or if you're trying to transfer ownership of property that is still in the decedent's name, now you can move forward with the sale, donation, or quitclaim. What if there was no will, but the value of everything the decedent owned totals more than $125,000? For example, if the decedent owned a house valued at $250,000. Then you cannot use this process. And it doesn't matter if the decedent had a will or did not have a will. The family must hire an attorney to open succession. Last, I get asked all the time, why is any sort of succession even necessary? Very simply, a succession is the legal process of transferring title of the decedent's assets to his or her heirs or legacies if there was a will. Successions are necessary because the paperwork has to be done to acknowledge the new rightful owners. You wouldn't buy a house without signing an act of sale, right? Otherwise, how would you prove in writing that you own that house? Well, likewise, a succession provides written proof of heirship, which acknowledges the new rightful owners. Please do not piecemeal this process. The affidavit of small succession is not a basic fill-in-the-blank form to be completed 2 or 3 or 4 different times when you're trying to get someone to release money or property. I invite you to schedule a telephone consultation so that we can discuss how you can complete the process once and for all. Then, whenever someone asks you to prove heirship, you can just give them a copy of the affidavit of small succession. There's a link in the description below to schedule your consultation. We will determine whether what your loved one left behind qualifies for this procedure, and if it doesn't, please know that I will give you guidance on how you can proceed. In the meantime, you can download the free information I have for you regarding the affidavit of small succession. Again, there's a link in the description. Okay, if you like the information you just received, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, and don't forget to click that bell so that you know when new information is available. You can share this video with your family, friends, and colleagues. Visit my website and follow me on Facebook. When you connect with me, I promise you'll learn something. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I'm Paula Vincent Johnson. Come back to see me next week.